Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. I'm Dumi.
And I'm Ru.
And we are Rumi. And today we're going to be talking about
Falling out of love with your partner.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's going to be real spicy today.
We hope.
So our favorite comment from last week's video is from Ife, who said, "LOL, I absolutely love you guys. This was fun to watch. Never really had a bad sexual experience except one time a guy chewed my nipples till they were sore and I had to warn him not to do that again."
Wow, there wasn't again. You're strong, eh?
Sus girl. Person. I don't know how you identify. Let me know. But thank you again for commenting. Please guys, don't delete your comment. We'll pick one every week. Thank you so much for this. Sorry for that. I have this nipple cream. If you want, we can trade numbers. I got you, girl.
Now people are gonna think I chew your nipples. I don't chew your nipples.
I never said anything about chewing them.
Moving on. That was last week's video. If you want that tea.
Once every year, without fail, I fall out of love with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first time this happened, it was very painful to hear. It was a lot. Mm. You know, when you spend so much time with someone, our lives are so integrated. And to hear this person that you really care about look you in the eye and say, I feel absolutely nothing for you, was heartbreaking. It was torture, actually. But the moment she said that, it really hit home that, wow, our relationship is a privilege. It's not something that I'm entitled to. You know, it really is a privilege that she had feelings for me to begin with, and now it's over.
It was like less than a year into our relationship, and at that time we were in hiding because her parents were looking for us as she had come out, and you know, things had been really dodged. If you want to check that out, there's a video, you can watch that, you know. But as we were hiding, we couldn't necessarily be like, okay, I'm gonna move out now because you're no longer into me. You know, we still have to share the same bed, we still eat together, you know, we still do all these things. And it was very strange. It was a strange feeling for me because so many of the things that I used to enjoy doing with you, things that you used to do as well that I really loved about you, had started feeling unenjoyable.
Not like the honeymoon phase was over, guys. Like, this was proper. She was done. Our relationship became empty overnight.
It just happened. It wasn't something I was planning. It just wasn't something I was aware or got a little emotional thing. It wasn't something I thought would happen anytime soon, especially like less than a year into the relationship. Like, you know, that's horrible.
After everything we've been through.
Yeah, we had gone through so much the entire year, and now, you know, it was scary.
So after the words came out of your mouth, right? And now we had to deal with this situation. It was a true test of our relationship. It really was a moment of like, okay, now that you've said this, now what?
I felt a lot of the ways that, you know, the internet will tell you that you're supposed to be feeling when you're falling out of love with someone. And it was very difficult for us to be intimate, to do anything together, to touch, to kiss. It was very difficult. But there was one thing that was different from me when I read all those articles on the internet. The article said that, you know, the person who was falling out of love was wanting to leave or wanted to leave. But I never felt that way. I never felt like I didn't want you to be around me or anything like that. I just didn't find any joy in it, and it was very difficult to do it earnestly, without telling you like, you know, this is not really evoking any emotion in me, right?
I think there's someone once said, like, the opposite of love is indifference. You know, so it's not like she hated me, like, oh, she couldn't stand me. So it became even worse. It wasn't like, oh, you're irritating me. It's like, I feel nothing.
I spent a lot of time on the internet trying to figure out what to do. I downloaded books on trying to, like, fix myself. And although I wouldn't really recommend that, I did find some solace in that, because I spent nights. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat properly. I couldn't talk to her about it. I couldn't do anything. I did find an answer, sort of. Although these feelings of indifference were a symptom of someone falling out of love, that just wasn't really the case with me. We
How
found
did you realize that?
How did I realize that? I scoured through the internet. Like, I read so many articles. I was trying to find, like, what to do, because I don't want to leave you. Like, that wasn't what I was experiencing, but I just couldn't explain what was happening to me. And what I found was something called anhedonia, right? So anhedonia is the feeling of not feeling pleasure when you do the things that you used to do. You just don't feel pleasure in those things anymore. And that was spot on. It wasn't like there was something wrong with our relationship, or that I didn't enjoy her company. Although at the time I didn't enjoy her company, I wanted to still be with her, but at the same time my feelings and my mind were not coinciding. They were in conflict. They just never mashed up. What I thought and how I felt were just not linked. And so I couldn't understand what was happening. So I read some more, and I basically figured it out that it was my depression. For most of you who don't know, I have major depressive disorder. There's a video on that, you can check it out. And with major depressive disorder, I have bouts of like depression, like depressive episodes. I just feel nothing. I feel absolutely nothing besides my mental disorder. We had a very difficult year, and throughout this year we never really had a time to sort of emotionally digest what was happening to us. And when we were alone in that time period, my mind now had time to think back and be like, oh, what happened? And the way my mind works, it just shuts down from feeling too many things. It's just like, oh, this is overwhelming, I can't do it. It was just a mixture of so many things that led to me feeling like I had lost touch with my partner, myself, and everything else that I used to enjoy about life. And now that I think about it, this wasn't the first time I had felt that way. When I thought about all the times I had broken up with my exes back then, there was no basis for actually breaking up with them. This sort of explained it quite a lot. I would be in a really good relationship, and I would just feel like the things we used to do together were not fun, and I would break up with them. And this was just a cycle that kept repeating itself.
And I guess the hardest part for me was believing her. I didn't believe, especially when she's like, oh, I'm just depressed. It's not like I just don't feel anything for everything. It's not just you, but I feel nothing for like everything, you know. It was hard to come to terms with that and be like, yeah, totally. I get it. Oh, this makes sense. It wasn't like that. It was a lot of insecurities that I had to work through. I thought she was just stringing me along until she found something better, you know. She was just staying for my cooking. That's why she's keeping me, you know. I had all these crazy conspiracy theories in my head. And it took a lot of strength from my end to actually believe what she was saying when she was like, I don't feel anything for you right now, but I need you with me as I work through this because I'm scared. One, she was like, I'm scared. I don't want this to end. At the same time, I don't know what to do. I don't want to do anything, but I don't want this to end. Now I'm at this crossroad, bruh. I don't know what you want me to do, and you're lying. I was just like, okay, it really doesn't get better than her. Truly. It doesn't. Like, I've been in the streets, guys, and it doesn't get better than her. So I was like, okay, let's pretend like we believe her and work through this.
You don't believe me?
I didn't believe you. Bruh, it's hard. Imagine if I looked you in the eye and I was like, I feel nothing for you, but stay.
So sorry about
That's crazy. So I guess how we worked through it was a lot of talking. Always talking. We talk a lot, but we started to talk even more. And we had to literally unpack all the emotions that she was suppressing throughout the year, you know, because, you know, when you're dealing with things, right, you're like, I don't have time to feel this right now, so I'm going to store you away and I'm going to deal with you later, right? Bad idea, because at some point it's just going to it's gonna blow up in your face. You know, your mind is just gonna be like, you know what, I don't have storage anymore. Deal with this now. And you might not be in the right space, in the right state of mind to be dealing with it, and you won't even know what you're supposed to be dealing with because there's just so much pent up emotion in there, you know. So it was a lot of unpacking of like, okay, let's unpack all the emotions. It's been a rough year. Okay, where did the trigger start? How did this make you feel? You know, step by step we went through everything, tried to remember or conjure up those feelings that we had in those moments, and actually talk about it and deal with it and cry about things that happened in the beginning of the year, you know, just really feel it all over again and work through it step by step. At the same time, she also had to like give in to my wishes. We decided that sex was a bit too much for her, right? But she didn't mind cuddling. So when we were talking, we're just cuddling and we're just talking about things and crying things and just holding each other in ways that she felt comfortable. Because it was something that I needed. I needed that physical intimacy in order to feel like, okay, there's still some hope here. Like I was holding on to something like, okay, if she can tolerate me this close, there must be something still, even though she can't feel it. There must be something.
It felt like it was going to last forever. That was the longest depressive episode I've ever had in my entire life till this day. It just felt like I was never going to feel again. It was very scary. Because not only was I not feeling for my partner, I was not feeling for anything, nothing. I couldn't feel anything. Like numbness was just everywhere. It just seeped into everything that I enjoyed was just nothing now, and it was very scary. I still have bouts of that sort of depression, but we know how to manage it better now. It's not something scary. It happens once a year. I have like 2-3 months, and because of lockdown and everything that was happening this year, it was intense. But it will never be as intense
as the
first time, and that tells you just how crazy it was the first time. So we're doing a whole lot better. If you do actually fall out of love with your partner, I think it can be you just really falling out of love with your partner, or it can be a symptom of something much larger that is happening within yourself.
Yeah.
And it can be both also.
True.
But it is when you do feel like that, I think take some time to look within yourself and figure out what it is that is not fulfilling you.
And involve your partner as well. You know, involve them, talk them through it, and see if they can be there to support you through this thing. Because if they really can't or refuse to handle it with you, it might be a sign that, you know, this is not where it's at. So I guess instead of seeing it like, you know, something that can ruin your relationship, it really can help you grow and learn each other more.
That's if that's what you want, of course.
Yeah.
If you really are actually out of love with your partner, then it might just be time for you to go, and that's okay as well.
Communicate that.
Yeah, communicate that. Relationships evolve all the time, and that little time in our life has shaped the way we talk to each other, how we relate to each other, and our intimacy in general. So it has brought us closer, which I'm really happy about. So yeah, that was our little video for this week.
We haven't got serious again, guys.
Yeah, we haven't posted a really serious one in a while, so yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in this week.